Mr. Speaker, I wish to start by saying that one of my favorite books is Good Girls Never Get the Corner Office. Mr. Speaker, this is in response to what you are telling me earlier in the morning when you are urging me to be a good example to the girls, the younger ones who are doing their first term. Mr. Speaker, if they are good girls, they'll never get corner office. Be as bad as Millie Odiabo, you will be the mother of this house. I am a bad girl, and as a bad girl, I'm here serving my fourth term. So do not be cheated like the African culture where you are told have decorum, dress nicely, be kind, be nice. I'm telling you, you will go nowhere. Be a bad girl like me and you'll get somewhere.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Lynn. And today I'm going to be talking about the rebellious woman. So I grew up in a Christian household / conservative household, which in turn made me some kind of a pick-me, but I was not like a pick-me in a sense that it's like, oh, these girls lie about being raped, or like they lie about this and that, or you shouldn't shake your booty. I don't know, like for me, how I saw it, I wanted so bad to be the good woman. So in a sense, I would sort of market myself as the good woman, but it was in no way competition with other women. It's just that I also wanted to be seen as a good woman. So that was very important to me. Not that I wanted to get married, which I feel like was very odd. I was not someone who would sort out for marriage and kids and the whole thing. I have always been this way. It's just that now I'm an adult and I'm sort of refining what it is that I want. But earlier, like in my childhood, being a teenager, it wasn't something that I thought about a lot, that one day I would have a husband and kids and so forth. In fact, I didn't really think that I would make it to adulthood. I think I talk about this in my earlier videos. But anyways, I just wanted to be seen. I had this obsession with being seen as a good woman, not only by men, but also by everyone in society. And it's not a bad thing, but I just want to talk about the modesty of it and why it does sort of become an exchange of your identity as a person.
I think I have a clear-cut direction as to where it is that I'm going, but I don't think it has to have already been mapped out. I'm not trying to follow in anybody else's footsteps. I'm trying to do my own thing. You know what I mean? I don't think it has to be rock. I don't think it has to be anything. I am what I am. You know what I mean? Either people love me or they hate me. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm this just so you can get it, you know? I'm not a corporate person. I'm not a writer. I'm not anything other than Khalees. And either you take it or you leave it.
To be clear, modesty is not an issue, but I felt like it was very important to a point where it was the core of who I was. I was performing myself in a lot of situations where if someone would say something, I would respond in a way in which I thought that a woman should, or what is right according to the Bible, or how I was raised. And it limited my way of thinking and my way of doing and my own creativity. So let me say that the first time that I saw what it is to be a rebellious woman and how important it is to just be yourself, the first person that I saw was Rihanna.
I'm just really comfortable with who I am, and as a role model, that's the biggest message I want to give to people. Just to be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself, because even though you might be a little different, that's what's cool about you, because there's only one you. So embrace that. Don't try to be like anybody else. It never works out.
And the funny thing about it is that I wasn't immediately receptive to her or her music. I did love her music, but I wasn't immediately receptive to. She came at a time where Ciara was popping, Beyonce was big as hell, Shakira was also big. All of these artists were like pop girls. They were big. Fergie was big. So Rihanna coming through as a pop artist, yes, she was also just as big. But when I listened to her music, saw what she was about, yes, I was very curious about who this girl was. And even prior the whole bad girl image, when she came with the music of the sun and the Ponder replay, it was very different. And she had a beauty that you didn't really understand or could describe. Because, first of all, she wasn't your typical light skinned girl, and she was very different. Like, you could tell that she's very confident, but she doesn't particularly shout it. And then obviously there came the whole abuse situation incident with Chris Brown, and it sort of had eyes, like everyone had eyes on her, and it changed maybe like the trajectory of maybe the image she was going for initially, but it reinforced who she was as the bad girl, and then she reclaimed that image. She reclaimed that image of being a bad girl, so she did not wallow in the pain and the sorrow of being this abused person, abused woman. She was not that woman who was battered. She just decided to take that pain and create power out of it. And for me, I didn't really understand it at the time. I was very, very young to understand or grasp what it is that was happening. But nonetheless, it was a very pivotal moment in my life also, because I didn't really understand what it was, but I knew that there was a movement happening, and the Rihanna brand started becoming something that no one really understood and no one really saw. So I want to talk about how this turning pain into power in that particular position helped me. So as I say, I grew up very, like, in a very Christian household, and wanted to become this modest woman, wanted to dress a certain way, not to invite men and all these things. So I wasn't true to myself. Like I say, modesty is not the issue, but when you start making it the core of who you are and you don't find your own identity outside of it, then it hinders your own growth. Sometimes, yes. But with me, I was always a creative, but I've always had entities and people who would try to suppress who I was and stop me and tell me that that other path is better. But now that I am where I am, I see that it was important for me to sort of go on my own way and find out who I was. So with Rihanna, like seeing the person that she was, it made me realize that you can become anyone. You don't have to become one particular brand or one particular category or girl. And this is what sometimes confuses people, because I can rock up like this. I can be a tomboy. I can be girly. I can be very modest and wear a long dress. But it doesn't mean that I am one person. So identity is very important. You cannot build your personality according to what you want society to see you as. Yes, it is important for image control, but at the same time, you need to think about who you are first, because regardless, society is going to be very disappointed in you. If you do not go this road, they'll ask why you're not going that road. You should try something else. It just never stops. The goalposts of what society wants you to be never, ever, ever stops. And when I look at a brand like that, for me, it's so moving, because you realize that you only have one life, and in this one life you need to be as truthful as you can about the things that you want and the person that you are. And this is where I find truth in the rebellious woman.
Your image is quite strong and dominant, and does it frighten men mostly?
Yes. But it's meant to do that.
So
Only good ones come through, you see.
So
the strong ones.
The strong ones.
There are so many amazing women I know that are very like religious and conservative, and I do like some of the things that they do. I like it, yes, but let me just put it this way. Modesty does nothing for me, or it did nothing for me in the grand scheme of things. Yes, it taught me things like discipline. It taught me things like looking at the bigger picture, like how your actions could affect some of the things that happen in your life to you or for you. You know, you take everything with a grain of salt, you run with it. True. But what the Rebellious Woman has done for me, and not just Rihanna, they motivate me. They show me that, look, you don't have to be one thing. You don't have to be that. There is a range of what femininity looks like.
Honey, you have to let it go. If I worried what every bitch in New York was saying about me, I'd never leave the house.
Yeah, you just don't have to be stuck in that one image and one thing that you feel like would be accepted by society.
If a man came into your life, wouldn't you want to compromise?
Stupid. A man comes into my life and I have to compromise? You must think about that one again.
I am really in love with women who just know who they are and act accordingly, and they do not try to cower or be apologetic about the person that they are. So this is to the rebellious women. Keep rebelling, keep striving for more, keep being yourselves, because you never know who's watching. And that goes for me too. I know that people watch me, but like, but like, I'm just saying that it is easy to go on paths that you've seen have worked out for other people. But to go on your own and to say that this is the standard I'm setting, this is not based on anyone else, this is not based on the fact that I want to be seen as this and this. This is just because this is who I am. So you go on this path and it's very lonely, it's scary, and no one quite knows what it is that you're going to do or what you want to do. But they can see that you are very different, and it motivates other women too. And other little girls can look at you and say, maybe I could take this and that from this person. It's not that they have to take everything from you, not your identity, but I'm saying that if you are courageous and brave enough to go on your own path and define who you are without having to go consult with whoever first, that is very liberating, and you will not have to wait for someone else to tell you who you should or could be. So I just want to say thank you to every woman who has stepped up and has not been afraid to be who they are. And they always like in your face or out of your face if they want to. Like I can see a Tiana, but I also admire like an Angelina Jolie who's like laid back, like you don't know what she's thinking, but a Tiana's loud and she is herself. I love that too. But all in all, I'm saying the rebellious woman is the cornerstone and an example of who you can be if you just be yourself. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like, subscribe, comment. Yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.